you. You sound marvelous this morning. Yes, we have joy in our souls today. Welcome. I am Reverend Terrence Strauss, Senior Minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are transforming lives through courageous action and soulful connection. And for those of you who may be finding us for the very first time, I want you to know you are welcome. I want you to know this is a place for you, and you are finding yourself on hallowed ground, ground that was first cultivated and inhabited by the Muskogee Creek people. We are here now, eager to learn and repair what has been lost in the rupture across the centuries. The person to your left may identify as an atheist, and that is just fine. The person to your right might pray to God, and that is all right. And you, yourself, in between, may be mired today in doubt and faith in equal measure, praying to a sense of uncertainty and earned hope, and you would be in good company. Now, on this 50th anniversary of the Roe versus Wade Supreme Court decision that guaranteed, or did it, reproductive freedom, I want you to know that if you have had an abortion, you are welcome here. Your story and your life. And as we continue to deepen our engagement with our worship series, Gods of Change, which is particularly drawing on a source of Afrofuturism, if you are an avid student of Afrofuturist art and writing, you are very welcome. And if you have never heard the term Afrofuturism until this month, well, you are welcome here too. In this house of hope, where we honor the worth and dignity of every person, and together we find a way to make meaning out of this world and out of our lives. So if you have made it here, welcome to your faith home. This is a very exciting Sunday. We are welcoming more than 20 new members to join UCA. And you may have noticed we have a stunning art show going up right now in the Pilgrim Gallery. This show, Gods of Change, Afrofuturism, is fantastic. And I hope you will join us for the big show opening and a conversation with the curator, and all the artists will be here for the opening and reception on Friday, February 3rd. I was sort of making up that the time would start at 6:30, but I'm not exactly sure. But that's when maybe I feel like it should start. And it is wonderful to be joined in leading worship by Laura Beth Brown, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, who is also multi-talented. There she is. UUCA Board Member Extraordinaire, Letta Wu. A brand new UUCA music group and band that is cropped up, and our fantastic guest pianist, Patrick Hutchinson. At this time, I would like to invite brand new UUCA member Kyle Keene, you're out there, over here, yes, to come up and light our chalice this morning. And please join me in saying our chalice lighting words together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace. So I want to invite Patrick on up to join us for our new member ritual. Becoming a member of the Unitarian Universalist congregation is a demonstration of commitment to our covenant, to our covenanted community. It is a conscious choice to live by our shared mission, to transform lives through courageous action and soulful connection. It is a noble and exciting moment to commit collectively and individually to the work of transformation. Joining us this morning are, I'm going to say at least, because a few people have come forward since we rehearsed this morning, at least 20 new members of UUCA. Awesome. The presence of both these new members and our existing congregation reflects the strength of this community, which is quite amazing considering all we have been through. We are grateful and we are honored to welcome you all formally to this congregation, and we send our love out to prospective members Andrea Barra, Jay Saltzman, and Kristen Lamott, who intended to join us this morning but must stay home due to illness, and we hope you are out there joining us online. We look forward to having you with us in the spring at our next membership ritual. As I call your name, please let us know who you are with some wild hand waving or something. And congregation, please hold your applause until the end of our ceremony. Pete Bancheri. During the pandemic, Pete watched Sunday services with his wife Maureen, our congregational president, and was inspired by the church's commitment to diverse people and views and to a more equitable society. That's why Pete wanted to be a formal part of this congregation. John Beatles, back there. Can we part the seas a little bit and see John? John is very happy for the chance to join a church full of human and spiritual diversity. Andrea Bentley. Andrea, there. Is an IT professional, was a United Methodist for 20 years, and has decided it is time for something different. This congregation has many familiar elements, but with a newer way of thinking. LaTanya Beverly Simmons. LaTanya is super excited to join as a formal member of UUCA because each person, conversation, and experience she has had at UUCA has enlightened and nourished her. This is truly a congregation built on soulful connection and a safe space to plant her roots spiritually in Atlanta. Andrea Davenport and Esther Kolko are joining us, and we are so excited to have you with us this morning and as full congregants. Sarethiel Freeman. Sarethiel is so excited to be a part of a spiritual community that is open to many forms of spiritual pursuits and aligns with their values and morals. Titus Henderson. Titus has visited UUCA Atlanta numerous times over the last 30 years he has lived in Atlanta. He wants to be a member not only to work on self-development, but also to connect with the wider UU movement. Titus wants to be a steward of an organization in which he can use his talents and interests to serve the congregation. He is a passionate high school science teacher and enjoys learning about cultures, self-improvement, and helping others. And he looks forward to growing and learning with as many of you as possible. Kyle Keene. Kyle is excited to be a part of a community that holds the values expressed by UUCA, and he is joining the church as a way to formalize his commitment to building relationships with the people here and pledges to be of service to the work of this congregation. Welcome. Marcia King. Marcia is joining UUCA because she wants a spiritual community that is not dogmatic, and she believes she has found it here. Welcome. Robin McLean and Anders Lode. All right. Robin and Anders moved here from a UU congregation in Denver and are thrilled to be a part of the Atlanta UU family. They are also joining with their 2 kids, Erilyn and Iris, who you may recognize as the cheetah from our Christmas pageant. Miss Betty Means, I don't know if Miss Betty is in the house, but she is a mom of 2 adult daughters and son, a grandmother, retiree from Madison, Wisconsin Veterans Hospital, and her goal is to continue learning and exploring and to have a happy journey as a member of UUCA, working for a better world. Orlando Montoya. Orlando is joining UUCA because the Unitarian Universalist Church was such an important part of his life in Savannah, and he would like for it to become so here again in his new home of Atlanta. Ed Outlaw. Ed has felt aligned with UUCA for a long time, but over the last year decided to become more involved and finally to join formally. The Unitarian Universalist approach to religion, taking from various sources of wisdom and knowledge, fits Ed's viewpoint. He looks forward to getting involved and meeting more people. And UUism is also in his family history. His great-grandfather was a part of a group that founded the Outlaws Bridge Universalist Church in eastern North Carolina in 1905. Sarah Dawn Peck. All right. Sarah Dawn discovered UUCA through music and the Sunday morning services and the choir. Well, it was just everything she had ever wanted church to be growing up. Recently, she joined the Social Justice Council so she could fulfill her desire to help those in her community. Welcome, Sarah Dawn. The Pitts family. That's Sarah, Brian, Simon, and Wesley. This family is joining to deepen connection with others who are seeking spiritual and ethical development in their families. Todd Pruce. Did I say that right? Okay, Todd, having recently retired from the Emory faculty and having had some health issues of late, Todd has been searching for some good community and tuned in during COVID and likes what he has heard and seen. For one thing, the UU commitment to serving others is very appealing. And for another, there was something special about the tenor and the spirit of the services and the way the members and the community interacts with each other, something that is hard to put into words. And he has friends who are members of this congregation, fellow contra dancers, Carol Galanti and Bill Porter. And if they are at all representative of the congregation, well, this seems like the right place for him. And I hope they are. Melanie Shaw. Melanie is joining UUCA as a place to nurture and grow her own faith journey, and she's honored to be included as a member of this talented, justice-loving, radically welcoming community. Todd Zampa. All right, Todd. Throughout his 50-plus years, Todd has had a number of different church homes, from Roman Catholic to Lutheran to Episcopal. But after getting together with his partner 2 years ago, he's begun to explore more ways in which God and the universe can be experienced, beyond what one might get from reading the good book. Todd has been attending UCA for a little over a month and already feels like he has a number of personal growth experiences and is excited for what awaits. And I think that's it. Now, this is an exciting, vibrant, dynamic group of people, and I, for one, cannot wait to get to know you better, and I hope you cannot wait to get to know them better and to radically welcome them into this congregation. Please join me now in reciting our new member litany that it will be on the screen. So here's your part, all of you out there. We welcome you with hope and joy as you join us in this community of faith, where we will support you on your spiritual journeys and work side by side with you for justice and peace. And now for the new members today. And now us, inspired by those of you joining today, we renew our commitment to support the mission and covenant of this congregation through our gifts and our service, and all of us. Together, may we become the people we aspire to be and the people the world needs. Welcome to you all. Amen. Task, congregation. Please join these folks for a reception after the service in the social hall for cake in their honor to celebrate them and introduce yourself to them. Get to know them. The radical welcome begins right after this service ends. So we will see you there.
And so we are going to do this morning's movement prayer with our new members leading us. So please rise in body or spirit and join us. I'm going to step forward. Feel free to step forward, everyone. We're going to make sure you have plenty of space here. Here we go. Okay. First, we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude. Breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor. Embrace. Gratitude. Share, be present. Amen. Blessed be. Thank you, everyone. So at this time, we would like to invite our children, 3rd grade and under, to exit through these doors over here to join their preschool or creative workshop for this morning. These are located just down the hall on the 1st floor. And as our children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor, to greet our new members. Thank you.
Pat Harris. Yeah, I was walking. Right? Sorry about that. My coat. Oh dear. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. Nobody knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say when you're gone forever. Some say you're gonna come back. Some say you'll rest in the arms of the Savior if in simple ways you lack. Some say that they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. Nobody knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. The mystery be. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Thank you. See you in just a few.
A Litany for Survival by Audre Lorde. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone, for those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward, at once, before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures, like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who are imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hoped to silence us. For all of us, this instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard, nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind.
Let us put hands upon hearts, feel the heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal this world. We send healing love to the family of Manuel Esteban Pais Terán, the young person who was protecting the forest and prevention of the construction of a police training facility in South Atlanta. A young person who was tragically slain a few days ago. We pray for peace and safety for our city and for the protection of our forests. You are invited now to say the name of someone you are holding in your heart this morning, someone who is struggling, someone who could use some extra care and love coming their way. Maybe that is your name. Please write the name in the live chat or speak that name into this holy moment now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find more ways to be more loving. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest for a moment in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, for those times where we have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and we forgive each other. We begin again in love. Breathing in, we offer gratitude to our earth, that which supports and sustains all life. We breathe again and open our hearts to wonder, for just one moment, feeling a deep connection with all beings, plants, animals. Let us calm our bodies and our minds. We breathe in peace and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul.
It's great to be here on New Member Sunday. It's been an exciting time at UUCA. Just a few things I've shown up for recently are the Queering the Bible class with Aidan McMahon, which was awesome, and the MLK Day Service Project this last Monday, also awesome. I was glad to see so many of you at both of those. I'm enjoying this season of learning and giving back, and now the 2-week Lunar New Year celebration and Spring Festival. So, Happy New Year, y'all. I had the opportunity to travel to Taiwan last month and connect more with my Chinese heritage. I spent time exploring beaches and mountains with my parents and eating delicious food. I've even been trying to recreate a few dishes, including tea eggs, which are boiled eggs, cracked and marinated in a salty, delicious tea-flavored liquid, and fresh homemade soy milk. The Spring Festival is a time for good food with friends and family and for looking ahead. I feel so fortunate to be a part of this vibrant UUCA community that encourages me to keep learning giving back, connecting with myself, and showing up. In this upcoming year of the rabbit, I wish all of you good health, good fortune, abundance, peace, hope, and most of all, love. For this morning's offering, I honor your generosity as we continue showing up for ourselves and each other. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place. Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place. I lied to the doctor. I lied to my lover. I wanna make amends, but where do I start? Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place. Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place. Strangled your heart. I wanna make amends, but where do I start? Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place. Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place. Tell the truth to yourself, fall in place. Tell the truth to yourself, and the rest will fall in place.
Thank you all. Okay, the new member ceremony took a while, so I'm going to make this brief. Blessings upon this gift, blessings upon this community that is thriving, vibrant, growing, spreading love and joy and dynamism in all corners of our community. May this gift go far and wide to bring more love, more healing, more warmth to people who desperately need it. Blessings upon your generosity and on this gift. Please join me in the dedication of this morning's offering. To the work of congregation, a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives, and these are our offerings. Blessed be. In 1976, Unitarian Universalist minister and theologian Rebecca Parker was on a cross-country road trip, traveling with her friend on their way to seminary. They had time, so they decided to take some back roads, including one that took them through rural western Pennsylvania. Late in the day, they came down through hill country and into a valley. It had been pouring rain, and as they neared a small town, they noticed some blinking yellow lights warning of danger. They saw fields covered in standing water and passed several side roads blocked off, saying, "Road closed." "Looks like they've had a flood here," they said to themselves. Coming into town, they crossed a bridge over a wide river. The water was high, muddy, and flowing fast. Sandbags lined the roadway. "Gosh," they said, "they must have had quite a bit of high water to contend with here. Looks like it was a major flood." They headed out of town, following a winding country road, captivated by the evidence all around them that there had been a dramatic flood. Then they rounded a bend, and in front of them, suddenly, a sheet of water covered the roadway. The water was rising fast, like a huge silver balloon being inflated before their very eyes. The two friends stopped and started to turn their car around, but the water was rising behind them as well. Suddenly, they realized, a little too late, the flood had not happened yesterday nor last week. It was happening here and now. Dry ground was disappearing fast. They quickly climbed out of their car and scrambled up to higher ground. Soaked to the bone now, they huddled under a fir tree. No longer were they safe in their familiar vehicle. The cold water of the storm poured down on them, baptizing them into the present, a present from which they had been insulated by both their car and their misjudgments about the country they had been traveling through. This is how it is to be a middle-class person, maybe a middle-class white person in America, except instead of thinking the worst has already happened, we are still waiting for the worst that is yet to come. A friend of mine who was in the upper echelons of a well-known, shall we say, very well-known national, largely white-led feminist organization, told me that when the Dobbs decision was leaked, the leaders of that very well-known national feminist organization were completely blindsided. They assumed abortion access was safe and would continue to be safe. My friend reported to me from her place in the inside that many of those leaders thought Chief Justice John Roberts would save abortion because of the illusion he maintains that he is adherent to precedent. Now that was the collective mind of a people who had enjoyed a right for so long, who had driven for so long on dry land that they could not understand that the water was about to overtake them, not in the past nor in some distant future, but right now. In 1993, Octavia Butler published what was going to be the first of 3 novels in her Earthseed series, a new Bible for after the fall of the American Empire. The protagonist of her series is a young black girl named Lauren Olamina, who survives in a dystopian America in a suburb of Los Angeles with her family. Now, in this dystopian American world, in the novel, The Parable of the Sower, water and all social services have now been privatized. Professional jobs no longer pay enough for individual families to survive. Gated communities have now become walled bunkers. where food and resources are often shared amongst the neighbors, but each walled community must fight off thieves and interlopers from different neighborhoods. And Lauren, the main character, the 15-year-old girl, suffers from a psychic condition called hyperempathy, causing her to feel the pain of anyone else's pain who is in her presence, making her vulnerable and weak when she is relied upon to fight and scavenge for resources. And though her father is one of the last remaining Baptist preachers, she senses the relevance of his God fading away in this new reality. And so over the course of the book, she develops and documents a new religion called Earthseed. Now, Lauren is pragmatic, and though she acutely feels the pain of her surroundings, she constructs a faith that she can rely on in a post-Revelation society. And as the first novel opens, Parable of the Sower, the year of this dystopian future is 2024. It is basically now. And in so many ways, the writer, Octavia Butler, has been an oracle of our time. And so for our own preparation and our own resilience, I recommend you read the 2 books of her series. I believe UCA is running a book club of Parable of the Sower right now. Sadly, Octavia Butler suddenly passed away before she began work on the 3rd novel in the series. And so we must draw our own conclusions. We must provide our own answers to the question of what happens next. The opening line of young Lauren's religious text, which is called Earthseed, the Book of the Living, goes like this: all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. See, pain, isolation, and violence are really not the natural outcomes of a post-apocalyptic world. The truth is, while many Christians spend their religious energy preparing for an apocalypse yet to come, living in fear and preparing souls for a mass death event or a mass disruption to our world as we know it, many other cultures have already lived through their own end times. And for Black Americans, for Jewish diasporic people across the globe, for Indigenous Americans, the worst thing that could ever happen to a people has already happened. It is the colonizers who still fear the end of relentless progress, who worry about the day when they will no longer be the ones who hold the power. So if you really want to prepare your soul in your life for climate change, look to the speculative fiction of Afrofuturism. Pay attention to the people who were attempted to be wiped from this earth, but whose ancestors survived anyway. For many people, to have an ancestral lineage that has survived Middle Passage and slavery is cause for great hope. Not tragedy, but great hope. To have survived the Holocaust, as one of our members, B.B. Forehand, has done, the attempted annihilation of your people, well, that is cause for great hope. To be a living child of the lineage of people who endured the mass extinction of American colonization and the Trail of Tears, well, that is cause for great hope. Amen? Amen. This is the hope that is found in those stunning acts of kindness and camaraderie in New York City on September 12th, 2001. This is the hope found in beautiful acts of sacrifice and communalism in the days after Hurricane Katrina. I know we don't often hear those stories. We hear the other narrative of the destruction and the selfishness, but I promise you those stories of communalism and support and resilience are a part of that rebuilding. The acceptance of apocalypse it tends to arrive in small increments, not often like the waters rising for Rebecca Parker and her friend that day on the road, realizing the world that has gone before may be lost or becoming lost. But after a great revelation, a great reveal, uncovering, after the previous life has fallen away, those who remain have a beautiful task ahead of them. It is the task of reimagining and building an entirely new world, which can sound exhausting, but I believe that it can be the most creative work of our time, of our human story. It is what scientist and feminist social scholar Donna Haraway calls worlding. Has anyone ever heard of that term? Worlding. It's kind of a postmodern term. She writes, Haraway underscores the importance of science fiction. Science fiction, she writes, is both storytelling and it is fact-telling. It is the patterning of possible worlds and possible times, material semiotic worlds that are gone, here, and yet to come. Haraway talks about the possibilities when humanity can become playful and can communally experience ourselves as true kin with all species, as we imagine with all species a new world and a new society. Haraway continually focuses on the need for symbiosis with cultures, with plants, with animals, and even with robots, to reimagine a new society altogether, constantly in harmonious conversation with the resources around us. Harmonious conversation, symbiosis, not just reaping, not just pillaging, not just using. If we can look at the people and the cultures that have found ways to persist, despite the violence of colonization, genocide, and enslavement, well, we might all find the secret to our survival lies in the playful and heart-centered work of world building. What I'm saying is, those of us who have relied on the relentless ascension of our economic progress and our generational wealth, well, we may need to radically transform the dreams we have for ourselves and for our children. If we have to decrease our consumption of resources, if we now have to learn the skills of foraging for food, has anyone seen The Black Forager? Alexis, I can't remember her name right now, but she's amazing. I love The Black Forager. She lives in Ohio, Columbus, and she was on Jimmy Kimmel recently teaching him how to forage. She's on TikTok and Instagram. But anyway, if we have to learn those skills of foraging for our food, or God forbid, downsize to one car, it's not the end of the world. That's what I'm saying. That's not the end of the world. It's the beginning of a new one. There are days when I simply cannot understand our allegiance to insurance companies and the privatization of our healthcare system. Anyone else? I mean, we have been through a pandemic. The time has come for us to call time of death for our current healthcare system. Just call it. I mean, what is it we've all been afraid could happen under socialized medicine? That we would have to wait in long lines to see our doctors? That we would not be able to choose our own providers? Friends, the waters have risen. We are no longer on dry land. For those of you who are not on Medicare, when was the last time you were able to get a same day, or even same week, or even same month appointment with the provider you wanted? I mean, when? When was the last time your insurance provided full coverage for a medical procedure you required? We are already in the healthcare apocalypse. I hope we are. I mean, what are we holding on to? Single-payer healthcare will save and prolong lives. If not now, post-pandemic, then I ask when? And African American feminist organizations, such as Atlanta's own Sister Song and the Feminist Women's Healthcare, have been preparing for the end of the Supreme Court's protection of abortion for a very long time. They did not assume the court nor the government would continue to protect access to reproductive justice. And so when the Dobbs decision came down, they were already prepared. They were already ready to adapt to the new reality. Their heads were not in the sand. What if we were to worship gods of change, change itself, change as a mighty force to be harnessed, the awesome power of adaptation, adaptation that we see everywhere, not only in people, but in plants and animals, the playful joy of worlding. What would worshiping change require of us spiritually, communally, and materially? That's the question. Salvation. Salvation awaits us, yes, but not in the next life, not in the next world, in this one. Salvation is found in ideas we have not yet encountered, collective imagining we never could accomplish on our own, survival strategies we never could have come up with alone, sharing economies we have not yet dreamed of, my friends. The beauty of our connectivity, the unending possibilities of kindness and empathy made policy. That is salvation. Now, the waters may be rising around us, not in some past or future era, but now. So welcome to this world. Welcome to the post-Darwinian world. It is a better world. I mean, we can do better than survival of the fittest. We can do better than survival of the most dominant. All that you change changes you. We need all of our voices to be heard, and we need all of us to survive. Amen.
We are
Going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will.
It will be hard, we know, but the road will be muddy and rough,
But we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will.
oh yeah yeah,
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 oh
oh
yeah yeah.
yeah
We
yeah.
are going,
Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within
we will
get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will.
oh yeah yeah,
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 oh yeah
oh yeah yeah.
All right, it's a weird hymn. You're doing great. And it's a weird world. And you're doing great. To be a worlder, one who builds worlds, requires listening to the voices without the power, listening to the voices we don't often hear, speaking up and speaking out for others who need a voice. This is the work of our generation, the work of our lifetime, and we don't have to do it alone, but together. So go forth in the work of world building and peacemaking and joy bringing. Go in love, go in peace.
Please rise, embody your spirit. Join me. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah, yeah.
Go in peace. Amen. Blessed be.